Have you ever played a jigsaw? A jigsaw is a picture on cardboard cut into small pieces, and puzzle is all about to fit those pieces all together again. Do you know you can use this simple idea of jigsaw puzzle in your classroom as a teaching strategy? Hi, fellow teachers and educators. I'm your friend Kamini, and welcome back to Teachers Ginny. Today, we are going to explore the jigsaw method. But before we dive into this, please subscribe the channel for more such videos and press the bell icon for the future updates. So what is the jigsaw method? Developed by Elliot Harrison in 1971, jigsaw is a cooperative learning strategy, just like gallery walk, but with a slight difference. That is, here each student takes responsibility of one chunk of information and teaches it to the other group members. Like pieces of jigsaw puzzle, students fit their individual chunk of information to form a complete body of the knowledge. Let's now learn the basic steps of jigsaw method. So first step is to divide the class into groups of 4 to 6 people per group. Jigsaw works best when you have a group of same number. So avoid having one group of 4, one group of 5 and one group of 6 people. So for this example, we will assume that you are working with a class of exactly 30 students and it can be divided into the groups of 6. And these groups will be called as jigsaw groups or home groups. So the second step is to divide your content into 4 to 6 chunks. It's important to divide the content into the same number of chunks as the number of students in each group. So if you have 6 students per group, break your content into 6 chunks. If you are going only to have 5 students in each group, then you only need 5 chunks. Step 3 is to assign one chunk of content to each person in the home group. That is, each group has one person responsible for one chunk of the content. That person will be expected to teach that chunk to the rest of the group. At this point, students don't really interact with other members of their group. They just read and study their own chunk of content independently. Then their independent study is fortified by the next step. Step 4 is to have students meet their expert group. After each student has studied his or her content independently, together with all the other students who have been assigned to the same chunk. These are called as expert groups. Within each expert group, students compare their ideas and work together to prepare some kind of presentation to present their home groups. During this time, gaps in the individual student knowledge can be filled, misconception can be cleared up, and the important concepts can be reinforced. In the fifth step, students return to their home groups. Now that students have studied their chunks in their expert groups, they return to their home groups where each student takes a turn presenting their chunk of information. Meanwhile, the other students listen carefully, take notes and ask lots of questions. They are learning the material from this expert, so this is their opportunity to make sure they learn it right. Once the first expert has gone, the other take their turns. As each expert teaches their chunk of content, the other in the group are learning it. Step 6. Assess all the students on all the content. The assessment can be a simple quiz to make sure all students got a basic understanding of all the material. Be sure to include all content chunks in this quiz. Now we also have a variation to this jigsaw called as Jigsaw II. Developed by Robert Selvin in 1986, Jigsaw II makes one significant tweak to the basic jigsaw. Now what's that tweak? The difference is in how the assessment is treated. In Jigsaw first, students are assessed individually and receive just one score. But in Jigsaw second, quiz scores are given once to individual students, then each group score are averaged to generate a group score. This builds in competition between groups and encourages students to work harder at helping each other learn the material well. Now, you can have some issues while using this jigsaw method. First is, what if students don't divide evenly? Ideally, you would have a perfect divisible group, but as we all know, that kind of perfection rarely happens. And even if you have perfection in your plans, one absent student can throw your whole game off. First, remember that you can create groups of 4, 5, or 6. And some jigsaw advocates even allow groups of 2 or 3. So that should help minimize extra students. Still, if you end up with a few extras, just assign 2 students in the same group the same chunk. Now, second problem that you can face is, what if some experts don't teach the material very well? So this problem can be handled by the expert group. You can give the responsibility to the expert group to make sure that everyone is prepared to present their chunk to their respective home groups. If one student isn't really getting it, make sure the rest of the groups gives that student extra preparation so they will be ready to teach the material to their home groups. So today we learned about the jigsaw method. And please do use the jigsaw method in your classroom and let me know how you like it or not. That's all for today. We will be back with another interesting video soon. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for the future updates. Bye bye.